Hello, I'm WTOL-11 Chief Meteorologist and St. Jude Ambassador Chris Vickers. WTOL-11 is proud once again to partner with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital for our Dream Home campaign. Tickets are available right now for the amazing ranch-style home in Monclova Township, built by Buckeye Real Estate Group. Each $100 ticket gets the miracle workers at St. Jude one step closer to realizing the dream of founder and Toledo native Danny Thomas to eliminate childhood cancer and to ensure that no child dies in the dawn of life. You can reserve your ticket right now by calling 1-800-831-7061. You can also scan the QR code on your screen. Here's a look at some of the families that have been impacted by the work of St. Jude.
I went to work. My husband is the one who took her to the doctor for the results of the MRI.
An MRI of the brain revealed that Sasha had a fairly significant tumor in her brain, and that tumor was later diagnosed as medulloblastoma. Our lives changed forever that day. It felt like the world just stopped.
I just remember when my husband told me.
I don't know what was worse. I mean, I know Sasha being diagnosed with that was pretty bad, but me having to tell my wife and shatter her world was by far one of the hardest things I've ever had to do.
When I was first told about my tumor, the tears just flooded out of my eyes. And my dad told me something I'll never forget. God didn't give us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of strength, and that we were going to go through it as a family. My tumor, yes, was removed. The cells from the tumor could have spread.
Once I found out that it was cancer, the first questions I asked was, how do we access St. Jude? They're the subject matter expert in pediatric oncology, and Lord, please make a way for us to get there, and that's exactly what he did.
She was a trooper going through it. She did what she had to do. There were times when you could tell she would crumble because it was hard on her physically.
To those who donate, I want to say thank you.
Your money is going where it's supposed to go. My child received treatment because of those donations.
They want children to live, and to me that's huge.
I can't even imagine anything better than what we received at St. Jude. They're doing divine work, they're doing God's work.
St. Jude is my salvation. They took care of both my mental and physical well-being. They saved me.
My name's Michelle Statham, and I go by Tactical Grandma online. I've been gaming since I was 7 and Pong came out. I started streaming October 1st, 2019. My husband and my son were both like, you should stream now. And I'm like, no one's gonna watch someone my age play video games. They're like, well, then you don't have anything to worry about if no one's gonna be there. And I think what drew people to my stream is I tried to create a community that was inviting to everyone, that was safe, that everybody felt welcome. The first 2 streamers I watched would always do charity streams, and St. Jude was one of the ones they would do, and I was like, wow, that's a really neat idea to be able to use your platform to raise money to help people. I think we raised $100 the first time, and but Facebook matched it. I'm like, that's $200. So it's $200 that's gonna help the families and their kids at St. Jude. The reason St. Jude's so important is because they help the families. I can imagine what those families are going through being a mom, being a grandma. So the fact that St. Jude comes alongside them and supports them, I'm gonna get emotional. Like it's so important that these families get this help. You're gonna do anything you can to help your kids. We just do fun things during the stream to engage the audience, to kind of give them incentives to want to donate. We're raising money for St. Jude's. We're doing gross things today for the kids. I've eaten jelly beans that taste like dishwater and dirty socks, and I've worn a puppy costume that was really puffy and played in it. I played blindfolded while my husband told me, you know, what was happening. So just ways that we can help make it fun.
Hey guys, I'm Tactical Grandma.
What I hope people take away from coming into my streams, watching me, is you're never too old to chase your dreams. And I also would like people to maybe look at me and say, hey, she went out there, she raised money for St. Jude. She raised awareness. I could do that too. That's what I would want, because it's a good organization that does wonderful things for the kids. It's all about the kids, 100% all about the kids.
Eliza, she's the little ray of sunshine. Her laugh is full of joy and love. I'm so blessed to be her parent.
I think she's the most beautiful girl in the world. You know, I love her with everything in me, you know, and she's so tough.
Eliza's diagnosed with bilateral retinoblastoma at 4 months. It's cancer of the eyes. It's aggressive and it's fast growing. And as a mom hearing that, I still cry because, you know, you want to take away all of the pain and you don't want your kid to be sick, obviously.
It breaks you. And with what we've been going through, I don't know how we would have made it without St. Jude.
The care that she's gotten at St. Jude, it's seriously saved her life.
All right, good job.
And it's amazing that we don't receive any bills from St. Jude. We only have to worry about Eliza. We are so thankful that there are people out there who care and who give to St. Jude so that we can care for our baby girl.
St. Jude has given us hope. We're gonna grow with her and laugh with her and make so many memories with her. And, you know, the people that donate money each and every month to St. Jude, it's all because of them.
Oh, Carson was all about the bling all the time. Spunky, witty. She was all things tutus, tiaras, and anything that was pink and purple and had a lot of sparkle. But Carson was diagnosed the day before her 8th birthday with osteosarcoma. It was bone cancer, and we were immediately referred here to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and she was here at St. Jude for 16 months, fighting osteosarcoma until the day she passed away at 9 years and 3 months. Her journey is now over, and it was way too short, and I don't want any family to have to go through that, because that's not fair. A few years after Carson passed away, we had an acquaintance that gave my husband and I a gift, and it is a large carving out of a piece of wood. And he said, I just want you to know that Carson's been gone a few years, but she's still touching people. She is the one drop that has rippled out and continues to touch people. And that's what I think of when I think of donors as well, is that everyone that contributes to St. Jude's mission is the one drop. That one drop donation can then ripple out and it touches all the kids of St. Jude. Your drop matters. That came from Carson's piggy bank story of $128.58 that she had in her piggy bank. She wanted that money to come to St. Jude because she knew that her money would make a difference. That's what she said. My money may find the end to cancer. I think that's what children teach us. And so I will forever be supporting St. Jude through my time, my talents, and my money. Because childhood cancer has to end. And I've always felt that St. Jude would be the one to find the cure for childhood cancers, because they do so much research here and they don't give up hope. And that's what St. Jude is to me. Even today, after losing a child, it's still about the hope of tomorrow, that there won't be any more Carsons, there won't be any more osteosarcoma and all the other childhood cancers that they treat.
About 4 or 5 years ago, I drew like on a canvas just emojis. And then they got an idea to put it on a launcher truck. It's pretty cool. Like, it was basically like the same design of my little truck, just 10 times bigger. It's just epic seeing that thing. Came home from a baseball game, and we went on a bike ride, and after I was going to get in the shower, I had a lump on my right side of my hip. And we went to the hospital. They told me about 2 weeks later, and I had to go to Memphis, Tennessee to St. Jude. Cancer is not very nice. You always get sick. It's makes you feel horrible. It was not a great feeling. It's bad. But if you don't believe, you kind of giving up on yourself. But you gotta find light and just find hope. St. Jude is an amazing place. And I found hope and light, and I just went for it. Drawing. It's just calm, very slow, and that's why I like it. It's your R&B. Let it draw. Right now, I feel great. No more cancer. Cancer-free. So I'm really happy. Thank you for saving lives. Yeah. About it.
On October the 4th, my daughter was diagnosed with a rare malignant rhabdoid tumor on the spine. When I received the diagnosis with my daughter, my hope was gone. When we first made it to St. Jude, my baby couldn't sit up on her own at all. The tumor had pressed up against her spine to the point where it basically paralyzed her. She couldn't feel her feet or anything like that. And just to see her start to make those steps after treatment. Take your time, one step at a time.
Take my time. Take my time.
Good job, baby. It was just like a miracle. It was amazing. I was like, thank God for St. Jude.
It's a glittering premiere at the Chicago Theater for Warner Brothers' I'll See You in My Dreams. A real dream has come true. For this benefit premiere launches a drive for a new hospital sponsored by the film star Danny Thomas, here arriving with his family. Years ago, Danny vowed he'd build a hospital if he ever became famous. $32,000 are subscribed, the first of $1 million Danny Thomas tells friends he'll raise for the St. Jude's Hospital of his dreams.
They said it couldn't be done. They said that it was a task which would break my heart. They said it was impossible. At this very moment, as I speak to you, in the city of Memphis, Tennessee, there is being constructed a hospital in the form of a star.
There it is, in concrete, glass, and steel, to offer help to all the children of the world, regardless of race, creed, or economic status.
You and I have vowed that we will do everything in our power, spiritually, physically, mentally, and financially, to bring about the defeat of these catastrophic diseases. We're going to begin with leukemia, and by God's grace, after defeating it, go on to other diseases. That little tiny building has led the world in advancements in pediatric science and clinical care, and now it's going to rise up. You will bring it to the fore through an organization called ALSAC. If I were to die tomorrow, I now know why I was born.
While we're sitting here making this video, there's a family that's walking through the front doors on a Friday afternoon, and they're at St. Jude. When we came to St. Jude, I asked the doctor, "Can you treat my child?" And he said, "No. We're going to cure him."
For 16-year-old Tyler, running is now about reaching the finish line. Competing in track and field in high school serves as a passion and a purpose. But at the age of 6, Tyler was in the race for his life.
He was very involved in sports, played soccer, did karate, he was in scouts, things a normal 6-year-old would do.
But life unexpectedly changed.
All of a sudden, he wasn't that normal 6-year-old anymore, and he started falling asleep in class and having extreme arm and leg pains and night sweats and just not himself.
Mom Michelle was told several times it was normal growing pains, until it got much worse.
Tyler couldn't put weight on his arms and legs anymore. He crawled from his bedroom to ours, just screaming and crying in pain.
Instinct kicked in, and Michelle took Tyler directly to the local children's hospital.
The next morning, the head of the hospital came down and said, someone from St. Jude is coming over to talk to you. And it took my breath away.
The family from Memphis knew cancer and of St. Jude and the hope it brings. Just the year before, in 2012, Michelle's 9-year-old niece was treated and cured of pediatric melanoma at St. Jude. Cancer striking again, the choice to go to St. Jude was clear.
Our doctor came in and he said, we're pretty sure it's ALL, which is acute lymphoblastic leukemia, and it's heartbreaking. I mean, we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what we were dealing with. And then he proceeds to tell us that his treatment is going to be 2.5 to 3 years.
Under the care of the world's leading doctors at St. Jude, Michelle was told treatment for Tyler would start immediately.
we're going to start chemotherapy today. He needed blood, he needed platelets, and you know, you're kind of spinning. And I remember Dr. Pui leaving the room, and one of the nurses came in and she said, "Do you know anything about him?" And I said, "No, I don't." And she said, "Well, he's the #1 leading researcher in the world for leukemia." And at that moment, I knew in my heart, I said, he's gonna be okay.
Fears quickly eased, and the weight of a financial burden lifted. Never does a child or family ever pay a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food at St. Jude.
You could be financially ruined from this diagnosis. And instead, they just kept saying, "We're here to support you. Everything you need is right under this roof."
Research, treatment protocols, and clinical breakthroughs at St. Jude always freely shared, with one goal: to defeat childhood cancer.
Tyler's had around 1,200 doses of chemotherapy. He's had so many steroids, close to 2 years worth of steroids off and on. He's had platelets, blood, transfusions, broken bones, occupational therapy, physical therapy, all these things that have happened to his body. His body has been through a lot. But at the end of the day, we have him.
2 years and 7 months. The journey a child endured to become a survivor. A victory over cancer, not once, but twice for this family. Tyler's diagnosis came on February 4th, St. Jude Founders Day, and serves as a special connection to St. Jude founder and Toledo native, Danny Thomas.
We're going to begin with leukemia, and by God's grace, after defeating it, go on to other diseases.
Without him, my family would not be whole. That I wouldn't have Tyler, wouldn't have my niece, and that my life would be so different. And I'm thankful, and I feel very blessed.
They said it couldn't be done. They said that it was a task which would break my heart. They said it was impossible.
That no child is going to die in the dawn of life. That's his mission. That is the mission of ALSEC and St. Jude, is to make sure that every child who's walking through that door right now as we're sitting here is going to have the opportunity to survive.
Now cured of cancer, Tyler uses his strength, proof that cancer is just an obstacle and can be defeated, to run as a St. Jude hero.
I feel so blessed to be near him and understand that he is a walking miracle.
Tyler's completed 4 half marathons as a St. Jude hero and plans to run his first full marathon this year.
It's more about spreading awareness and telling people, every single dollar matters, because without that money that's raised, the research doesn't continue. Medications aren't getting explored, new treatments are not happening. And St. Jude is so unique because they share everything freely and globally. So it's not just about the kids here at St. Jude in Memphis, it's about the kids all across the globe.
Tyler's team has raised $550,000 and counting to support the mission of St. Jude. Tyler's marathon, his next obstacle, running to help all kids defeat cancer.
I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to finish. I have no doubt that I'm going to get to stand there and watch him cross the finish line.